You are now tuned in the Nightcap. RadioGeneration2000.com.
It's the Nightcap. It's your girl, Miss Lottie Dottie, and we have your boy, DJ Intense in the building.
Yow.
So,
What's poppin', sis?
nothing. How was your week?
You can fabulous, you know how it is, how it goes.
Yeah, definitely, for sure.
Oh man, what a very rough and tragic week we had recently.
Definitely. It definitely has been tough, tragic for our county, and tragic for the world as well. We have been losing a lot of people. 2020 has been very, very, very tough.
Very, very tough indeed. Just terrible. You know, you got Kobe, Juice WRLD. Now you got with Pop Smoke. I'm just like, come on.
I know. I feel like we can't win. We can't win at all.
No. You can't win at all. It's just, I guess it's just life. You know what I'm saying?
You think we're coming to an end?
No, I'm not. Heck no, I'm not saying that. I'm just saying, like, this is just life showing you that tomorrow is never promised.
Absolutely.
And because tomorrow's never promised,
Which is really, really, really tough.
yeah, because tomorrow's never promised, that it's just like reminded, like, leave everything out there. I'm saying, and when your passing comes, you made such a huge legacy impact,
Right.
that you can be remembered forever, almost. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
So it just goes to show you that tomorrow's never promised. And if I would have told you that 60,000 people would die, and I guess in America or whatever, tomorrow, you would think that Pop Smoke would be one of those guys, because he was so young. You wouldn't think that Kobe Bryant was one of those guys,
No.
because he was so young. David Stern, maybe, but you didn't think, because he was too, because people live way past in their, past their 80s and 90s.
Yeah,
You know what I'm saying?
absolutely.
So it just goes to show you that, like, tomorrow's never promised. So you just gotta leave your impact now. You know what I'm saying? You gotta leave your strong mark now, because once you stop, that's it.
I mean, most of the tragedies that happened this week, it wasn't due to sickness.
No.
It wasn't due to, a person taking their own life away.
No, it was.
It had to deal with someone else.
Yeah.
Whether it was jealousy, hate, envy, whatever it was. It took someone else to take someone's life away.
And for no reason.
For no reason.
That's the thing that makes me even more upset, because, RIP to the woman at Finkelstein Library, Miss Wilson. She was just doing her job.
Absolutely.
It wasn't like she went over aboard and beyond. No, she told the gentleman. For those that don't know, there was a woman who was recently stabbed at a library just for telling the man just to turn down your music because it's too loud. Allegedly.
Right.
And then the man, instead of complying with her, he goes and stabs a woman.
I mean, there's a little bit more in depth with the story.
I'm sure you probably know more than me. This is what I got from the papers, it seemed like.
For those that don't know, what basically happened, Sandra Wilson, she was a security guard at Finkelstein Memorial Library in Spring Valley, who died on Tuesday, February 18th, the day of my birthday. She was stabbed and her life was taken. She actually has been at Finkelstein Library for 10 years. You wake up day to day.
Yeah.
Doing what you do.
Your normal routine.
You walk out that door not knowing that you're not coming back home.
Yeah.
She died doing what she loved. which was being a security guard at the library.
And you know, based on a lot of people's perception of her, it wasn't like she was a person who was a, you know, pain in the butt.
No, I heard she was a very
nice lady. Everybody, you know, she spoke highly of people. She always was encouraging people to step forward. Like, you know, one of the interviewers that during the segment said that whenever he would walk through the door, and her first thing was, you know, when you come out, turn that frown upside down, because there's none of that frownness over here. So she was a very positive type of person.
Right.
And, you know, for her to be so tragically taken like that, that's just sad.
It's mind-boggling.
Mm-hmm.
And, you know, she was pronounced dead at Good Samaritan Hospital in Suffolk.
She probably bled out.
That's where she was actually born.
Yeah, no, it was a Good Samaritan. Oh, no, Nyack. Was not Good Sam. Yeah. They said that the hospital she was born in was the hospital she died in, which is like, come on, are you kidding me?
Good Samaritan. She was born on January 12th, 1968. She was survived by her mother, Shirley, 2 sons and a daughter. They have set up a GoFundMe for her and her family. So if anybody wants to donate to that, there's also a visual outside of the Finkelstein Memorial Library where you can go light up candles, drop teddy bears, and so forth. So the funeral service will be held at the First Baptist Church, 6 Hoyt Street, Spring Valley. Calling will be from 10 a.m. to noon prior to the service at church. The burial follows the homecoming service and will be at the Brick Church Cemetery in New Hempstead. Arrangements are being held by the funeral home in Nyack, which is the Hanneman. There's, once again, the community visual light that they're doing, which they had Friday that just had passed. This is, you know, rest in peace to her. This is very sad, and it's a big loss for our community. And one of the things that people have a tendency of overlooking is mental illness.
And
mental illness is really big.
No, mental is a big thing. And, you know, a lot of problems I see with, well, not with the youth, but just people in general, that people, they don't know how to handle situations, don't know how to handle stress. So your whole life, you're so upset at things, and you could snap out of nowhere, and you could take it out on an innocent person that, you know what I'm saying, because you woke up on the wrong side of the bed that day.
Oh, he was definitely mentally ill. He was mentally ill.
Well, I don't know the guy was.
No, he was mentally ill. And I feel like our community needs to do better, because we had a place, which was at Robert Yeager, where they would send a lot of our patients to Robert Yeager in Pomona, but they had shut that down. And Good Samaritan Hospital used to have a psych ward, and there is no longer that. All that we have currently is
Rockland Psych,
and that's it. But if there's an incident that's currently going on, and let's say you have to send someone somewhere, you don't have nowhere to send them, because you can't just send them to Rockland Psych. They actually have to be treated at a local hospital. But Good Sam has taken that away. So I believe they have to go across the bridge
in Westchester.
To get treated.
One of my buddies works. I think he works at the Westchester Psych. So yeah, tells me he gets patients for various different things. It can be criminal. It can be, you know, they try to do suicide or said something. So he gets a lot of in-house patients over there.
Right.
So yeah, that I do know of pretty well because of that. But, you know, I'm not gonna call him out, the guy. And based on his past transgressions, seems like he was just kind of out of control. Because, you know, they had an incident with him in a hospital. He tried to rape a lady. You know, I was like, come on.
That was a story that was leaked. Yes.
Yeah. So, who think, for me, like I said, is if someone does something like that in a hospital, okay,
he's mentally ill.
You're mentally ill, and you shouldn't be roaming the streets.
He should definitely have not been in the streets at that point. I'm not sure what had transpired, what they did as far as protocol once that situation had happened. I believe that it seems like there's a lot of the story will continue to unfold, and can't wait to hear what's going to happen. But at the end of the day, I don't know how they're going to charge this man, because he is mentally ill and he does need the help, but he definitely needs to be out of the community.
Okay.
He definitely needs to be out the community.
Yeah, man, it's sad because my whole thing was like, why? But then, like I said, if you don't know the past history, because based on what you just told me with the mental illness, now it makes sense. Because before I was looking at this guy's rap sheet, I'm like, you're a bum. You just, me thinking like that.
Right.
But also at the same time, it was like, hey, what is your reasoning for it? Because you just don't randomly do things unless you're mentally not there. And
I know a few people who have seen him on the streets, just pacing, doing the pacing rant back and forth.
Oh, one of those guys.
Yeah.
There's another guy that does that out here. I think Charles, big tall dude.
I have no idea who that is.
He's always roaming around Main Street, up and down, and paces. And he's been locked up numerous times. But I'm like, maybe you should be sent away because there's something wrong with you, brother. Like,
I don't think it takes a lot to make a decision and a call, because you got to understand the politics behind the medical system as far as insurance and who's going to pay and treat. And some of these patients are they're a little bit on the wild side, and some of these facilities do not want to keep them kept because they start to endanger not just the population within itself, but they start to attack the employees as well. So what they do is they try to get rid of them so they can't stay within that facility. But in the process, while getting rid of them, they're putting the rest of the world in danger as well. So it's like a give and take. Like, what do you do in a situation like that? Because there's but so much that you can do.
That's insane.
It is. It is. It is. And, once again, it's sad and it's unfortunate. And that was one of our local deaths that happened here in Rockland County. And
then the one that just seemed to just take over the world.
I was shocked. I was extremely shocked for this to happen.
Because it was unexpected.
Very unexpected. Very, very unexpected that Pop Smoke was shot and killed
in his own home.
He left Canarsie.
Yeah, to go. That's the thing that makes me just go wow, you just can't escape. You can't escape anything. The dude left his hometown,
right,
of Brooklyn, New York,
right,
and booked it all the way across country,
right,
to Hollywood
Hills,
to keep working and to stay zoned in and moving in a almost like a very secluded but very nice area, only to be murdered while you just living your life. And he wasn't. And for me, Pot Smokes kind of reminds you of Biggie, not for the legacy input,
right.
In terms of a guy who carried himself well above his age, because you didn't know he was 20.
No, definitely didn't know Pop Smoke was 20 years old.
You thinking Pop Smoke probably
he was very mature.
Very mature. So you think he's like 25, 26, something older than that. Kid's only 20 years old. You realize he said in an interview when he was 16 he bought a 5 series. And I did a little digging and found out he was a very good ball player. Went to a prep school in PA, but they found out at 15 he had a heart murmur. So that just destroyed the dream, because you can't play ball.
Right.
You would know that medical field with a heart murmur. Can you a little elaboration on that?
What it's going to do, it's going to play a major impact on the heart, because the rhythm of the heart. The rhythm of the heart goes do-do, do-do, do-do. That's your normal. But when you have a murmur, it's like it's like it gives it like a little flutter to it. So therefore, playing basketball and major sports would put a lot of stress onto the body and onto the heart, where the blood wouldn't flow as much. So I guess for him, he fell in love with music. Yeah.
He said that where he was from, it was either you played a sport, you either got into drugs, or you got into music.
Right.
And at his age, he was good at all three. I told you, he bought a 5 series at 16. Can you imagine 16 years old and you driving a 5 series? I'm 30 something years old, and I never dreamed of driving a 5 Series. I've driven a 3 Series or M3, but hey, the dude did his thing. And then he did transfer to music because he got caught up in the drugs. Was on house arrest. Because he was on house arrest, he couldn't really go places, and he said he was friends with Jay Guwap, another Brooklyn artist, rap artist.
Okay.
Pop just entered the booth when Guwap got too high or too tired, and did a record. And the funny thing is, the record he grabbed it from the producer that's been producing all his stuff. And they was like, it's fire. And he just kept going with this. And mind you, he's probably around 17, 18 years old when he started just doing this. So Pop Smoke just showed you, if you're dedicated what you want to do, it can be done.
Absolutely, I believe that.
And it's divine. What's the word? My gosh, I'm drawing a blank. Charlemagne the God said it. This divine misinterpretation or misrepresentation. Basically, like, everything happens for it just says everything happens for a reason, and your missteps along the way will guide you to where you want to go. It may be rough how you get there,
absolutely,
but as long as you stick that path, and you'll be okay by doing it. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
So, like, it's just the man worked hard. And I'm gonna call him a man. I'm not calling him a boy. The man worked hard.
He did, and
became successful at doing what he really wanted to do. And for somebody to just roll up on him and take him out, and he'd even get to see him grow.
Nope.
Because remember when I told you when I heard Meet the Woo 2, Meet the Woo 2 sounded like a continuation of Meet the Woo 1.
Which it was.
So for me, Meet the Woo 2 was okay. It's still within that same 1 year timeline. So basically, you just built a bigger catalog.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? And just to see what the direction he was going, and he was dropping little previews here and there, and he had a preview for a song. I was like, okay, you about to really make some heat coming real soon. But you didn't get a chance to do it.
And once again, the children,
yes,
the youth, they
loved him.
Pop Smoke.
Yeah.
When that beat dropped, during the Sweet 16, oh my God, these kids would tear it up.
It was so funny because I remember when I got a hold of Pop Smoke was last year summertime, and that's when I heard Dior just came out. So then I was like, some kid brought up to me and said, yo, because I think I played Welcome to the Party. I had a clean version, and he walked to, yo, I want to hear Dior. I said, listen, bro, Dior is not clean yet. I can't play that, especially where I'm at. Yo, just keep doing it. Welcome to the Party. We'll just do it over and over. And mind you, it was during a flag football game. And them dudes looked back at me. It was just right in the middle of the game. I'm like, really? Okay. Yes. So we knew what the way was coming. But then that ocean just came out behind that because the Meet the Woo one came out. And then it was just like, okay, it's over.
Because when Pop Smoke came out and they were playing the beat, they were saying, and when I say they, the people of New York, was saying Pop Smoke is the it. Yeah,
because
he was the it.
He basically took where Tekashi left off.
Yes.
And for me, New York, the world was focused on New York again in terms of hip hop and rap. Cause like it seemed like it always flourishes, it goes different places, but like that New York drill sound, it was so raw, edgy, and it basically merged. If you think about it, it merged two different places together because that sound is from the UK.
Yes, a lot of new music is coming from the UK.
Yeah.
For fans that don't know, our music is really coming from the UK.
And it's going vice versa.
Exactly.
So you merge two countries, two kids in two different places.
Yeah, shout out to UK for that.
You know what I'm saying? And this is why I always big up Al Gore's internet. Because without that, them two would never would have met. So because of of just the divine intervention of him taking the beat online, and he liked it so much, he went back to the well again and flourished this beautiful relationship, and it was about to really explode.
Right.
It was crazy. And then, like, for me, it's like he had a tour coming up.
He had a lot of things coming up.
You know what I'm saying? And he did his tour. He was doing it himself. So now think about, okay, I get to go see this my little idol live, and he could even get it done in a year.
I mean, he's had a little
mini concerts, mini show, but like I mean, like a world, like having a world tour to tour from city to city and to just shut it down, and you can't even get to do that yet. Oh my gosh, that right there hurts me the most because I'm like, you heard your future labor, but you didn't get to see it.
Here's my problem. I feel like every single time we have a dope New York artist, something happens. Whether they get locked up for drugs or B, they get killed. I feel like we're being silenced.
I don't think we're being silenced. I think what it is, it's young people and the people who they associate themselves with. Because you don't really hear the down south artists just getting caught up in this.
The difference, they're together.
They're
a union.
They're unit, and then they make sure that you're not gonna be put in situations to get you in hurt or in harm's way. Well, you know.
I feel like New York artists.
New York, they
separated.
It's separated, but what I was starting to see because like
not even just New York, up north.
Up north, yeah. Right. Chicago, Philly, New York, that up north area. It's just separated. It's to separate. But then what I was seeing to emerge and continuously happen is that we're trying to form something here right now. They're trying to come together and work with you, because like Casanova had people with Tekashi, and Casanova was going at it with Pop Smoke. But then you start seeing we're not gonna be with. Let's make music. You got Davies and Crush Calhoun. Crush Calhoun's from Roselle, New Jersey. Davies from the Bronx. I think from Harlem. Is he from Harlem or Bronx?
I think Harlem.
I don't know. I just know he's from New York City.
Right.
But we're starting to formulate something here. And I like, with this kid passing, I'm like, oh. But they're just still staying resilient and actually still continue forward doing it. So I'm interested to see if New York can make that kind of down south togetherness, because
I feel like New York men are too cocky.
Well, look where you are.
These guys are way too cocky. Whereas down south,
we're a concrete jungle.
Yeah, that's why. Because I feel like one person wants to win over the other.
Yes.
Instead of bringing it together to make that heat and just take it across the map, they rather nah. It's about me. I gotta be on top.
Yeah, but the dope thing what I was seeing with Pop and Fabio and even Smooth L with the Apollo record, they were all working together and picking up one another. So they were coming up together. So it was like, all right, you know what? We have, yes, this is New York sound, but let's all make the drill together. And it was coming. And I still think it's still going to come. But Pop Smoke was kind of put in the top out of the pecking order.
Because he deserves to be there.
You know what I'm saying? And then Fabio was right behind him. Then you got Freddie Luciano. Then you got Jay Critch and all the other guys coming in. So it was getting there, and I think it's still gonna get there. I don't think it's gonna go away. I really don't think it's gonna go away. But it's just sad that Pop Smoke didn't get to enjoy it.
Do you feel as if Pop Smoke could have? Do you feel as if he could have escaped this death? Because here's
I would think yes.
Here's my take. Because for me, I understand he was a Crip, and he was in a gang. He was gang affiliated. So that was one. And number two, it seemed like he was surrounded, his inner circle, he had a lot of hate. So whether you have hate or not, but when you do have hate, whether he was living in Brooklyn or whether he was living in the hills, if they want to come and get what they want, they're going to get it.
Yeah,
because it's within your inner circle,
and that's the thing. Like I think maybe if he would have moved a little differently, it's hard to let go. That's another thing too. Like I think you sent me the clip of what was this guy named from Philly, Gilly the Kid, who's talking about watch where you move, who you move with.
It's kind of hard because
when you go to another city, you gotta be careful. You don't know who's to see. Yeah, get that almost a pass.
Whether you go to another city, my whole take on this is when you're moving and you're winning, the people that you have a tendency of looking for support are usually the people that are closest to you, but not knowing that the people that are closest to you are the people that are hating on you. And when they're hating on you, they're the ones that are going to kill your demise. So I feel like what do you do in a situation like that? They usually say keep your friends, but keep your enemies closer, so you know who they are and what they're capable of doing. But I feel like when you grow up with someone, let's say from the age of 2, 5, elementary school, you're gonna think that person is your ride or die.
Yeah.
That person has your back. But at the same time, that person's like, damn, it's always him.
Yeah, why not me?
Why not me?
You know what I'm saying? So,
because if you watch the footages, these guys enter the back door like
someone they knew,
open.
or like they knew the key combination or something like that. So it's like, what is going on?
Exactly. There was no fuss. There was no fight. There were 6 people. This is by LAPD.
Mm-hmm.
There were 6 people at the house, and all 6 people survived, but Pop Smoke.
Yeah. Did anybody else get harmed but him?
Nobody. Everybody walked out. The person that notified LAPD was from New York.
New York, yeah, East Coast.
So I'm confused. You got 6 people here. Not one person decided to take their phone and call LAPD. You're gonna call someone from New York and say, "Oh my God, we're being robbed." I mean, it just doesn't make sense to me. Like,
it was strange because they said it was an East Coast number that called in.
Yeah, that was dumb.
I'm like, unless it was somebody from who's there with the East Coast phone number that called in. But I don't know. All I know,
it was his mom or something.
Everything is too eerie because it's like you didn't get to flourish yet.
He didn't, and I know they're shipping the body back this week.
And you were getting there.
He was definitely a star.
And the thing that I don't know, every time I look at different posts, different clips, you know, the young man was in the pool, just living his life. Then the last post, I guess the last story he had was him taking the pictures of the hills. So he
was excited.
He was excited. So now, like, to think you're taking a picture, looking out, and you're gonna think one of the people out there is trying to get you.
Yeah, because when they
come on,
because you know the internet. Internet is a savage.
Oh yeah.
Internet, everyone is brilliant. So everybody's trying to put the pieces and the puzzles together before the police can do it.
It's what they call it? I forgot what they call it. It's like a cloud like investigation. There's this term they call it where like the internet helps you figure it out. It was a weird thing. There was a TV show based on it. Like they had a cop's perspective. They had, you know, different expert perspective, and they had a cloud based perspective of people putting things together and looking at things. It's like, woo! And then, you know, by accident, one of his mans posted up the address of the spot. So it's like,
and then I seen another footage. I don't know if it was edited or not. Someone paused the picture of, you know, the camera when the guys were entering in the back. And it happened to look like his friend that was sitting next to him in that photo holding up the money.
Yeah. Hey, man, look, man.
Trust no one. Here's my key of advice, because sometimes I feel like I go through that too. I feel as if be very observant of your surroundings.
Yes, that's one.
Trust no one. Always go with your gut feeling and your instinct. Even if that is your brother, if that is your sister, even if that is somebody you've been breaking bread with from day one. If you have an inclinage, a feeling that person might be doing something to you or might have the capability of doing something to you, you might want to investigate that. Because I believe our gut is our angels that are looking upon us and that can see things that we don't see. And they're trying to give us the heads up like, yo, I can't tell you what's about to go down, but I can warn you what's about to go down.
If you feel uneasy, that's what for me, like a lot of times I've had like situations where I'm at a spot and they're like, I'm looking around like, I know they pay me this bread to be here. I'll pass.
There you go.
You know what I'm saying? Like, for example, right? I told you how I got the university want me to do a gig for them, right? And they'll play games beginning. Because usually when you want to book somebody, you know, let me get this thing early out the way. They waited till like 2-3 weeks before the gig. So now I get close to the gig and now I'm dragging my feet because I'm like, now I feel weary. Then the lady, she dropped me, right? So I asked her, man, what happened? He said, yo, how they had this big old honor society and they had dudes playing music from an iPhone at an awards dinner, right? So I kind of lost some bread. I wake up this morning. Yo, I need you to do a baby shower. All right, cool. So like, yeah, I may have missed a little bread, but I still made it up anyway. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
So I'm not tripping over it. But it's just like, you know, when your gut tells you something is kind of out of whack and you don't really want to do it, don't force the issue. Just like, no problem, cool. You got it, and just fall back and whatever. But man, it just that young boy, man, that right there, because 20 years old.
I mean, whether he was 20 or whether he was 40, it definitely played a major impact and a role on us, on our community, on our children, and a major impact Brooklyn. I mean,
Brooklyn was resurging again.
They
were resurging, and it's like, because you had Bobby, Roddy, and the whole GS9 crew. You know what I'm saying? They were coming. Then they got caught up in their little case, and now they get sent away. Then you had your boy 6ix9ine. He's coming. And he's coming hard. You know what I'm saying?
Shut down.
And then he got caught with his nonsense with his crew. And then he got sent away for, I think he come out next year, right? He gets a year.
Allegedly, yeah. He'll be out next year.
So with a RICO. So he can't really move freely. Then you got this guy coming. So like, feel like every 2-3 years, there's another Brooklyn artist about to rise up from the ashes and to hit home runs. And then a tragic ending happens, and it's like, So now, for me, my biggest dream would have been a Pop Smoke, Roddy Rebel, Bobby Shmurda record.
Right.
Or even Tekashi 6ix9ine working with Pop and just the different connections or different things I'm thinking about in my head, and it never can see the light of day.
And that's why I said what I said. I feel as if every time we on the map, we get in there, we get taken by death or the legal system. Mm-hmm. And that's it. And it becomes a wrap.
Because his death reminds you of like Big L. Because remember when I don't know if Big L was a rapper from Harlem. And Big L would have been he would have been the kingpin of Harlem. Like how Jay-Z was the kingpin of New York. He was coming. And Big L was the son of Rockefeller. But Big L got killed in an apartment complex. In the elevator.
See? Everybody's getting killed.
Chinks drugs. Left the party. Did a senator party. Left the party. Going home in Far Rockaway. Them dudes followed him and killed him.
And it's our own people that are doing this.
And it's a thing. This is what I always, like, I hate to say this all the time. And I'm like, if black people, if we could respect ourselves, the cops will respect you too. But because we don't respect ourselves, they don't respect us at all.
Right.
You never really hear Asian people getting caught on nonsense. No, because the community works hard. They respect one another. They put their money in what they believe in, and they put their money in the politician, and boom. Us as black folks, we don't do that.
Exactly. And
we're like savage one another.
We are
our own worst enemy.
Our own KKK.
Yeah.
Kings killing kings. That's exactly what we are. Because it just does not, I just can't seem to understand. Why are you so upset with someone winning? Go win for yourself.
And here's the thing that made me.
We all have the same 24 hours
yes.
in a day.
Yes, 7 days a week. And it's because I caught two things on social media, and it stuck in my brain. One was, like you said, it's not the KKK killing black folks more. It's us killing us more than the KKK. Granted, back then, incidents happened, yada, 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 but, it wasn't so severe.
Absolutely.
Part two, Young Jeezy said it, and it made sense. There's too much money being printed out here for us to be hating on one another.
There is, but you see, the problem is people don't want to put the time nor the effort into anything.
They're lazy.
They just want it to come naturally and easy, and unfortunately, it doesn't work that way.
No.
Because if I'm sitting out here in these streets and I'm putting in the work, and I'm sitting here working behind the scenes, why can't you do the same? Because you have the opportunity. I can offer the opportunity to you. It's up to you if you want to take it and accept it. Not everybody can take your hand and walk you to the water. Because a lot of us out here, we're not getting spoon fed.
No.
We're trying to figure out, finding different avenues. We're sitting here hustling, trying to get this bread. But now you got someone overlooking you from the top, like, oh, look at her or look at him.
Never overlooking from the top. They're overlooking from the floor. They're looking up at you.
Yeah.
Trying to crawl out. And here they come, grabbing your ankle and pulling you off the mountaintops, and now you gotta fall all the way down to the bottom.
Exactly. And going back to Pop Smoke, you know, the people that killed him. Now, what do you get out of this?
That's the thing. That's the major thing I was waiting to say.
What do you get out of
What
this?
are you claiming? I killed
Exactly.
Pop Smoke, but you're not gonna tell nobody that.
Exactly. Because if you do,
You're gonna get aced.
exactly. But I believe I'm sure, because there was 4 of them or 4 or
Somebody will get caught slipping.
yes,
They're gonna
absolutely.
they're gonna either wear something or have something that on them, and then they're gonna be like, you know what? Listen, yo, man, he begged for his life, and then boom, we're gonna find him.
Exactly.
It's only a matter of time because you can keep it.
Exactly.
You know, granted, this is not the '90s or the '80s or early 2000s. That forensic evidence is really, really clutch.
They're gonna slip.
So you're gonna get caught slipping.
They already slipped. Their faces on the footage anyway.
I didn't see the face. I just
Oh,
saw. I heard they were masked, like hoodied up.
Well, prior to going into the house,
Mm-hmm.
they did not have masks on.
For me, somebody in that house knows something.
Absolutely, the door was open.
And because they know something or knows of something, I don't think they know of something, but they know of something. They're gonna get caught slipping,
Yeah, they're gonna tell somebody.
and they're gonna tell somebody, and then the cops, whoever those people are, they're gonna get you. And when they get you,
Man,
good luck, because you chop the head off a lot of people's blessings right there.
I mean,
for doing this kid.
I feel
dirty.
like the only people that are actually gonna benefit out of all of this is the record label.
Yeah, and his family. Hopefully
That's
they
it.
take care of his
Yeah,
family,
we
his
don't
mom
know
and
what
pop.
the contract was like.
No, we don't know. But
Probably didn't.
I'm.
They didn't expect it, so I'm
No.
sure things weren't done.
And I doubt you even made a will.
Of course not. I don't.
Does
think
he have any
so, yeah.
children?
No.
It's like it feels like Jimmy all over again. Jimmy who passed away. Up and coming. He was a good guy doing his thing.
The record label is gonna eat.
Oh, they're gonna eat. They're gonna eat big. And I think the record label just started. It was like a just starting out. So that guy about to cake up really well. But I know the producer Trap Mellow 808 Mellow. He's gonna be fine because he's the one making the music for this drill thing.
Those beats
Him and his
hard.
camp. So that camp is coming. His camp is coming real strong.
Well, rest in peace to Pop Smoke.
Indeed.
Yes.
So you want me to get in that drill life?
Yeah. Let's go to a real quick mix with that Pop Smoke.
That drill life.
Yeah.
You gotta give me a second, man, because I gotta warm it up, man.
Woo.
I gotta get get all my tracks in order and whatnot.
Yo, I have to say, it is sad that he passed, but I'm sure when Canarsie hits during that funeral, just like how Big died, they're gonna have the same exact thing.
Oh, it's gonna be lit.
Once
It's gonna
that
be lit.
beat drops.
Listen to me. It's gonna be lit. When I say lit, it's gonna be like I would love to be in Canarsie when that hearse comes down that street.
Probably gonna go
Because
you're gonna find Miss Lottie Dottie in Brooklyn.
they're gonna be acting a fool. Cause remember when Biggie passed away and that joint came down that street?
I was too young to go.
No, I didn't. No, I wasn't. My cousins and them were
I
there.
was a baby.
Yeah, I was a baby too. I was what 5'4". No, Biggie died with 96. So like 10.
I wasn't a baby, but not
No,
old enough.
not old enough to be good to go. I want to go to Brooklyn.
Yeah.
No. But I remember that energy watching the video when that joint came on that corner and that Biggie drop, boy. It was a party.
It was definitely a party.
It was a party. It was a party.
Damn, Brooklyn has lost a lot.
Mm-hmm.
They lost another good one.
Mm-hmm. And the kid was coming.
Yeah.
Kid was coming. All right, let me get into this real quick, man.
Welcome to the party.
I'm not gonna start with that. I'm gonna start with this old stuff first, and then I'll speed up forward.
All right, do what you do here on the Nightcap. Yo, DJ Intense just killed that Pop Smoke turntable. Wow.
I'm not on my turntables. I'm basically using my controller over there.
Yeah, they look like mini turntables to me.
Oh, unless I go
growing
home.
up-
If I go home and use my turntables, that's when I really cut up.
Cause growing up, that's what I used to see. My cousin, shout out to Ronald, he used to just kill it with the turntable.
That's the best way to do it.
Yo, and he used to do all the clubs up in for the back to school night or the colleges in Orangeburg.
Oh, who was upstate?
No,
No,
right
I mean,
here.
you mean
Orangeburg.
Stack and
Yeah.
Dominican and Nyack and
They
whatnot?
used to do those. Yeah, they used to be a club or something across the street from Dominican College. Like, there's like Chinese food restaurants and everything on that corner over there.
Okay.
So there was like a club over there. And what's crazy is one day I rolled up in there and he was like, "What are you doing here?" I'm like, "What are you doing?" He's like, "I'm working." And I'm like, "Oh my God." But he always used to, do all that mixing and whatnot. So.
She likes when I use my turntables. I keep telling her it's just stress bringing those things out. But
I'm old school, so.
oh, listen, I'm old school too. I would love to every club have a pack of turntables in there, but it's not a lost art form. It's more of it's not what's current.
Right.
But it's so fun because vinyl's not going nowhere. You still got some vinyl turntablists that just want to stick to vinyl. Some of the new DJs want to use controllers, but then, controllers is fun, but it's not. You don't get the real fun of it.
Right.
When you get a pair of wax in your fingertips. Because I used to use CDJs when I first started out.
For those that don't know what CDJs are,
they're CD turntables. Basically, they're the CD. You put a CD inside, like a device, and on top of the CD device was a platter that acted like a turntable.
Really? Okay.
Yeah.
That's what's up.
So when I first started DJing, I was on CDJs, and those were fun. Cause I don't want to go to vinyl. And then shout out to DJ A1. DJ A1 bought a pair of Technique 1200s to a club called Upper Deck in Haverstraw.
Don't know what those are.
Technique 1200s are basically turntables. Okay. That's what your cousin most likely would have used back in the day when he was DJing around.
Okay.
So he bought a pair of those Technique 1200s to the Upper Deck, and I was DJing with the first time ever. And I instantly fell in love with turntables.
Nice. Because
with turntables, with vinyl, the platter's right there, so you have direct feel with the records. But CDJs has to go through different things or whatever, and yada yada yada. Same with controllers. So I always loved vinyl turntables. So now what's happening is a lot of the controllers and CDJs, they're trying to emulate vinyl, and they're getting closer and closer as the days come by.
I think they'll get it.
They're gonna get it eventually, but they're trying to emulate vinyl. But vinyl, it's that control, that feel is where it's at. So I love a pair of vinyl turntables. But yeah,
So what do you have for us this week?
Okay, so I have a couple little stories. I'll first start with growing up. What was the two major things that kids wanted to do coming up? It was a group. It was a group. It was a group activity. It was a major organized group. And there was one for boys, one for girls.
I don't know. All I can think about growing up is music.
Okay.
And playing outside.
All right, well, there was the Boy Scouts and Girl Scouts.
Oh, I was a Girl Scout.
Yeah, I was a Boy Scout too.
Okay.
So,
and I did it.
Yeah, I did it
since I was a junior.
You stopped when you were junior?
No, I did cadet. I stopped at cadet.
Okay. I
was a brownie.
I was 2 points from Eagle.
Oh, I don't even know what that is.
That's like the highest. Eagle's the highest, and there's
really?
one below, and there's one below that. So I got to that far.
Shout
I still have my merit things in my crib. You don't have your merit badges and stuff?
I don't know what that sash is with the little buttons.
Yeah, every time you did a merit, you get a little pin, whatever.
I have no idea.
Mine is in my closet in a shoebox.
I have no idea.
Well, long story short, the Boy Scouts of America has filed for Chapter 11 bankruptcy.
Really?
Yes.
There's not going to be any more Boy Scout, Girl
There
Scout?
will be. No, Boy Scouts and Girl Scouts are two separate organizations. Okay. So the Girl Scouts are fine. It's the Boy Scouts that are in trouble.
We got those cookies.
Yeah. Those cookies, well, they have other cookies, but, I'm not going to go there. Anyways, Boy Scouts recently celebrated their 110th anniversary on February 8th. And on February 18th, it filed for Chapter 11 bankruptcy in the Delaware court. The reason why this is actually shocking because the announcement comes at the same time that the Boy Scouts of America faces hundreds of sexual abuse lawsuits and the falling numbers of members. Since they filed for Chapter 11 bankruptcy, all civil litigations against them has been suspended.
So
now you have to go.
Best route.
Yeah, you have to go to Chapter 11 court to get paid and whatever through the lawsuits. Paul Monez, a LA-based attorney, represents hundreds of sexual abuse victims in the lawsuits, and says the Boy Scouts America bankruptcy is a tragedy. Now, the Boy Scouts America was fielding several hundred sexual abuse lawsuits all across the country, ranging from repeated fondling, exposure to porn, forced anal or oral sex.
What?
That was happening in terms of the lawsuits brought to them.
You're kidding me.
And a court testimony showed that the Boy Scouts of America believe that more than 7,800 of current / former member leaders were involved in sexual abusing roughly 12,000 children over 72 years.
You see? When your parents tell you to stay home. You'll get this on.
She said, when you see your parents tell you stay home.
Yo, are you Yo, for me to go to camp with the Girl Scouts, my mom didn't even want me to go because she feared something would have happened. But thank God, she took that chance and I had a great time. But come on. Like, so basically, there are probably men that were predators and felt like this was an opportunity for them to take advantage of young little boys.
Yeah, and this has been going on for 72 years. So
70.
So here's the math, right? So I said 78, roughly. This is roughly estimate numbers of former leaders were involved and sexually abusing 12K kids. So if you take 12,000 children in total, divided by 72 years, that was 166 kids per year was being sexually abused across the country. And then if you divided the 78,000 by 12, that was 108 roughly members who were caught with sexually abusing children. Monez actually helped secure a $18.5 million lawsuit in 2010 for former scouts, and he was sexually abused. His name is Kerry Lewis.
Wow.
Now,
I'm in shock right now.
Yeah. Now, Boy Scouts numbers have been dwindling, but the Boy Scouts of America has allowed transgender children and girls into the Boy Scouts of America to increase their numbers for the future. So, they're in trouble. They're in trouble. And the reason why they're in trouble because of the lawsuits. Now, mind you, it is a great organization, but with the lawsuits doesn't help.
Just shut it down. Shut it down, because you know what? A lot of people were not aware of what was going on with the Boy Scouts. And now that they're being sued, it's up in the forefront.
And it's basically former members. It's members that either things happened in the 90s, 80s, early 2000s.
And look how long it's taking for it to be
And now
exposed.
it's being exposed because these people are adults and they're speaking out against it. So it's just like, so that was my... I feel sad. Because I was a Boy Scout, and I love what the organization meant and what it meant around and whatnot. But for that to occur,
nowhere safe for our young little boys. I feel like all activities. If you have a son, just keep your son home. Like, don't
keep it in sports. Even with sports now, you got some things happen. Because I think in East Ramapo they had a video of they had it happened in Pomona. It was I think the boys went on a trip for a camp, whatever, and somebody, went into the bathroom, pulled the cameras back, and recorded it. And it was a funny prank, and they spread the video all over social media.
Okay, as long as it
wasn't touching. No,
you're right. No. That's what I was referring to, because I noticed that Boy Scouts or where our parents feel where they can have trust and feel safe for our children, it's either Boy Scouts or during church. And
that's when the most craziness is happening.
Yes.
You know
Leave
what I'm
your
saying?
kids at home, guys. Hide your kids.
Hide your kids. Hide your wife.
Hide them.
Hide your grandbabies.
Hide them.
Because these dudes are touching them.
That is the biggest.
Even the worst is even like you have some things in schools. Well, like teachers and the female teacher hitting on them.
Yeah, I don't know what's going on with
I'm like,
horror.
well, growing up, I wanted to be hit on. How come I didn't get hit on by a teacher?
You know what's funny? I know someone personally who is a teacher, and he went from teaching elementary school to middle school to junior high school / high school. He taught for 2 years in high school and said, I'm no longer doing this. I'm going back to elementary school.
They probably hit it on him.
The teenage girls, they were coming on, and they were developed.
Yeah.
And they were like, some of them were like 17, 18 years old, and they would, during lunchtime, they always came into his office and they would just sit there. And he's like, okay, so what are you guys doing? So then, they would wear certain tight clothing, and then he would text me like, yo, these girls are bugged out. And I'm like, what's going on? They would come and act as if they had issues or family issues and just wanted to talk to him all day.
And they probably wanted to talk, get a hug.
Right. And then it went from that to, if I ever felt a certain type of way, can I call you anytime? And it became phone conversations, and where he felt as if, you know what? I got to step back.
Yeah.
Because this is a little
Save
bit
your
too
job.
much. Yeah. He was like, this is a little bit too much. And I asked, do you find them attractive? He was like, I'm not going to lie to you. I do.
No, he's not gay.
He's not.
He's not, but,
But they are underage.
Underage, but you got to just,
he was like,
even for me.
You wouldn't even think they're 18.
When I remember I had some students of mine come back, and I'm like, nope, no one even talked to me.
No, but it's hard. So he basically left high school.
Well, it did it for himself because he probably thought some nonsense happened. It all depends on willpower. Our own DJ Naughty, he's a teacher, he's a TA, he's a good looking guy. And how many? I'm like, bro.
Yeah, but his field is different.
I know,
he
but
teaches a different type of student.
Yeah, but they come back and visit, and he's like,
yeah, I wouldn't want.
Some of them.
No, but then these women that are 18.
18. That's when you're on a slippery slope. Cause now they're legal, and they probably. And I'm like, no.
Nothing that.
I'm still.
That's still your job.
No. I'll wait till you graduate. How about that?
Not even, because some of these girls, they'll just, a lot of them like to make up fake stories.
True. Oh, he been doing something for me in the past couple of years. And then you get caught out there in the smoke.
Crazy. So basically, Boy Scouts are in the midst of being shut down.
Well, they have the finances, but they're just trying to prevent them losing money with the lawsuits.
I think they should shut
down. So they're waiting for Chapter 11. We'll see. I don't think she gets some.
72 years?
Yeah.
Shut it down.
Hey, man, look. This is sad. Real sad. You got something for me?
Do I have anything? All right. So, pretty much, here's my take on this. This coronavirus, it is spreading like wildfire.
It's only getting people who got a frail immune system.
No,
and the elderly.
Let me tell you how grimy people are. I went to Walmart on Friday. This man was spitting, coughing
online
in the freezer.
Wait.
No, he was like, tooth.
He spat in the freezer?
Yes. So this lady calls me over.
Oh my, Juif?
No, he was a Caucasian man.
Oh, Moon Blanc.
Yes.
Well, I said white woman. I say male in Creole.
Male.
So, male Blanc?
Monsieur
Blanc? Garçon Blanc? Garçon Blanc.
Monsieur Blanc.
Yeah, Monsieur Blanc. He spit in the freezer?
Yeah, so I was getting that smell, my favorite fabric softener. I'm not going to say what it is because I'm not giving.
They have it up there now?
The one that I went to, the Walmart, it was in Lodi. I went to the Walmart in Lodi.
Oh, I thought that one was good.
So, I ain't going there. So I walk in, I'm doing my thing, and this lady grabs me and was like, ugh. And I'm like, what's going on? She was like, look at that man over there. He is spitting in the freezer. I'm like, huh? Cause I'm like in shock. I'm like, spitting. She's like, he's spitting in the freezer. So I go and I look. I was like, what are you doing? He's like, he takes his spit, puts it in his hand, and wipes and smears it all over the door. Now, as a healthcare professional, the first thing that I'm worried about, this man is sick. Because he's trying to get someone sick. So I step back, and the lady was like, I told the workers, the employees, all they did was laugh. They thought it was funny. And I said, okay, we need to find a manager or something because this man is sick. And I'm telling you right now, that door and everything in it is contaminated.
Oh, yeah.
Because well, it was in the freezer. I don't know, because the theory behind is that if it's cold enough, viruses can die in the cold, but they are actually born in heat.
Mm-hmm.
So I don't know the theory behind that, but this man was sick.
Mm-hmm.
So the first thing that came to my head, oh snap, I'm leaving. They got coronaviruses.
Oh man, you caught me off guard with that one. I was prepared. Hold on. You know what's coming after that.
I was like, yo, I am out. Because let me tell you, the things that I've been seeing, people are so malicious and they're so evil on how, like, if they catch something because they caught it, they want the world to catch it. That was the first thing that popped in my head. I was like, all right, I'm good. I'm going to take the items I have and I'm out the door. Because I don't know what this man has and what else he has contaminated.
So he licked his hand?
He spat. He spit.
Like, and then,
yes, and he wiped. Like he was wiping, like a
window, like cleaning a window.
Like, yeah, and then
I would kick them in the nuts.
I'm not going over there.
I'm fighting him.
I don't want to be within that proximity at all.
I would have fought him.
I'm not. That's not my job. My job is to get the hell out of there and don't return back to that Walmart.
I called the cops.
This was the Walmart in Lodi, New Jersey. Okay,
I'm about to, and they didn't get it on camera.
I don't know. Listen, I told the lady.
Matter of fact, Walmart does have cameras in all those frozen sections, so I'm sure they know who he is.
Well, that was disgusting.
What day was this?
Friday.
Friday? What time?
I went there, what was it, 11:30, 12, midnight?
Midnight?
Mm-hmm.
I'm going to speak to somebody.
Please do.
No, because I know higher up in the Walmart chain.
Yeah, please
so
do.
So I'm going to tell them.
That was gross, and the first thing that came to mind was coronavirus. So speaking of coronavirus, okay.
Shout out to the white guy for trying to spread coronavirus. He
was sick. Only people who are sick that does stuff like that. Nobody in their right mind is gonna do something like that. He was just trying to get other people infected. So 2 Rockland residents are in self-isolation and under observation for possible exposure to the novel coronavirus. 19 people after traveling from China. The county health official said both are in the same household. So 5 residents have been isolated from the possible exposure to the coronavirus. So this virus is spreading like wildfire. And when I say it's spreading like wildfire, what's happening is people who have traveled from China, I guess China, Indonesia, Bali, all within that area, go on an airplane, and then people on that airplane start coughing and hacking because there was an airplane where 14 people coming from China were or are infected with the coronavirus. So you have to really be careful because I noticed that, once again, it's coming from people who have traveled. And one of the things, it's hard to dictate if you have it or not because you don't start seeing the signs and symptoms till about 14 days after. So you may be exposed to it, but you don't know. And that's what happens. And that's how it keeps on spreading, because if you're not aware that you have the virus and you're next to someone and that person doesn't know that you have the virus, you don't know you don't have the virus, and let's say you sneeze or cough or whatever, so have you, now that person has it.
So now they're just spreading it around like, you know,
exactly,
like it's nobody's business.
Exactly. So I mean, we haven't had major cases where people in the US have died as of yet. I just know that China is still dealing and battling with this virus. So one of the things that you want to do is hand washing, continue to hand wash, and just, you know, somebody is coughing, don't shake their hand. No, seriously. You don't want to shake hands. I mean, you know, it's funny because I learned from my son. My son doesn't give people daps. He will give you a fist bump. Yeah. Exactly. And I was like, why do you do that? He was like, I don't know where their hands have been. I don't want to touch their hands. So it's really crazy to me. So that's one of the things. I think we have a caller.
Really?
Caller, you're on the line. Caller?
Hold on, hit the comp button. Wrong one. Sorry, caller. We'll get it fixed. Give me a second. Cut the video off. Cut the audio. The browser. Close the browser. Now try it again.
So that's one of the things that I learned of the coronavirus. Definitely hand washing. making sure that if anybody starts,
You hear?
It's toxic.
shout out to Smooth with
It's toxic.
It's toxic.
It's toxic indeed.
So what else do you got for us?
Apple is fined for slowing down old iPhones. Remember, we spoke about this a while ago.
That's funny because someone I know just bought an iPhone and is talking about their phone is not really working. It's
Yeah,
slow.
because the new updates, they want to slow down your phone to elongate the battery life. That's their theory behind it. The company was fined $25 million euros, which roughly equates to 27 million United States dollars. The reasoning for deliberately slowing down older iPhones without telling its consumers. The fine was imposed by the France Competition and Fraud Watchdog DGCCRF. If you remember, in 2017, Apple stated that it did slow down iPhones in order to prolong the life of its devices, the batteries,
Okay.
saying that it was done to help the lithium-ion batteries stay in peak performance over time. Also, the upgrades made iPhones randomly shut down to protect its electronic components. People realized the software updates for the iPhone 6, 6S, SE, 5, 5S, and other related devices to help battery performance. Folks at Reddit and YouTubers proved that this was going on for Apple crapping out their phones, but Apple denied the theory. Not until the masses prove them otherwise. As punishment, including the fine, Apple has to display a message on its French website of its actions. Apple to this day still practices its iPhones boggling down, starting from its iPhones SE, 6, and up. So you got iPhone 7, 7S, 8, X, XS,
Those are
whatever.
really old.
You know, they're still gonna do these. Even your new ones, they're gonna start doing that soon.
Really?
Within 2 years, because then the next iPhone comes out.
But Android has been doing that.
Well, Androids are different. Android, they rework the software, but basically your battery is, as soon as you put it in, it's still, the stress. Its slight performance will begin when the battery starts to degrade. So what happens is, like on my 5S iPhone, my battery life went from normal to even 20%. So I got to replace the battery in it. Yeah. Remember they got caught in that whole scandal
Right.
of them doing that. That's the reason, but it's not a reason to do that. They don't have to. They just doing that to make sales. Because I know people who have iPhones like 7, 7S, and 8X, and they still work fine, but they complain about the battery, they complain about performance, and then they want to upsell you on the newest iPhone.
See, iPhone is probably doing this now, but I've been having Galaxy for quite some time, and Galaxy, Android.
Well, you got to understand, Androids are not made by the companies, it's made by Google.
Okay.
So when Google rewrites the software, they make it for the newest devices, so the old ones can't really keep up like that.
Yeah,
so it's
but
not
it would
on
be
it's not on the manufacturer. It's a matter on
Okay,
Google.
Samsung / Google. Well, I'm buying my phone through Samsung. So when I purchase a phone, I'll give an example. Let's say I have a Samsung 8. When the 9 comes out, the 8 is not working up to par anymore. It's very slow.
Because the newer software is working with the newer devices too.
Okay, so they've been doing it for years.
Yeah.
So
It's not Samsung. You got to talk to Google. I say for me, when it comes to getting an Android phone, I like pure based Android phones, i.e., the Pixels, the Moto Gs, or the Motorola series. Some of the newer, like the Samsung. The Samsung is not there. It's not a pure Google AI. It's their own unique software stuff.
So basically, Android can't be sued.
No. So you want to, like I said, if you want a pure Android stability, I'd rather get the Nexus, One Touches, the Google Pixels, those. The Samsung drinks are phenomenal phones, but the UI they make is, I'm not really feeling them. It's because it comes bloated with crap, so I don't like it. That's why I always buy an unlocked phone.
Well, I mean, I just purchased an unlocked phone, and I'm not really feeling it. I kind of like my Droids.
No,
man.
you should get a OnePlus.
I like my Droid.
Get a OnePlus. I think if you get a OnePlus, you'd be doing lightning things. Anything else for us?
In the light, no. I mean, for me, no.
Okay, so I got one last one, and actually it's a pretty it's a good story. So we all have antiques, right?
Yeah.
Okay. You ever watched the Antique Roadshow?
Actually, I have.
Okay, so
I
you
have.
so you know the premise of when people bring things in,
And yes.
and they, okay. So imagine buying a piece of jewelry, right? Now, and you kept it for like 40, 50 years, right? And when you got it, you looked at it and you saved a lot of money to get it,
Okay.
and you said, you know what? I'm not gonna wear it. It's too nice to me for everyday. No, even if you think about going out with it, you're like, I still don't want to wear it. And you imagine that you get it years later, and you find out it was worth a fortune. How do you feel?
I feel great.
Feel great that you
Absolutely.
stacked your money up. Okay, so I'm gonna tell about a story of a former U.S. Air Force veteran, and he ordered a watch,
Okay.
a Rolex watch, in the 1970s, and it took him a month or two to save up his finances to get the watch. And the man saved. He saw the watch. He was into scuba diving, and because Rolex at the time was the premier of watches, he figured he'd get a Rolex and wear it. But then he saw, it's like, no, it's too nice. I don't want to wear this going down. And I saved up a good penny, so he kept it. He put it in a security deposit box over years, and the man saved everything from the watch. Now I'm gonna play a clip of him going to Antique Roadshow and getting it appraised and finding out how much it was worth and how much he spent on it. And just hearing the numbers is like, whew, wow. Give me a second, he loaded up.
I brought in a Rolex watch that I had purchased while I was in military. I was stationed in Thailand from 1973 to 1975. And while I was there,
You bought this where? Was it at a military store?
I ordered it in November 1974 through the base exchange. I believe it came in April 1975.
The amount that you paid, you even got a 10% discount. It says $345.97.
I'm skipping clips as it goes by.
Was that a lot of money in 1975 to you?
It was a lot of money for myself.
What was salaries back then?
It ranged between $300 and $400 a month, if I have it correct.
As you know,
So here he said he paid a range, so the watch probably cost him $350, $375, $400.
Okay.
But he said every month you got $400. So imagine in the 70s, basically you made $100 a week. You can't do that now. Impossible. But back then it was a big deal.
it's a Rolex. This particular model is referred to as an Oyster Cosmograph. They're also referred to as Daytonas. The date mark on the bracelet shows that it was made in the first quarter of 1971. Your watch was made approximately 1971, and you ordered it a couple years later for approximately $150,000 to $200,000. Your watch is more special.
You
It
gotta be
says
kidding me.
it says Oyster on it.
Now he said if it was a regular Rolex watch around that time, it was worth $100,000. So now you think, okay, shoot, I've spent $300, I made $100,000 profit. I'm ready to rock and roll. Here we go. I'm not done yet.
Yes.
A watch like this at auction is worth about $400,000.
He passes out.
Wow.
I'm not done. I'm not done.
You okay? Let me- Don't fall. I'm not done yet. I said a watch like yours because of the condition of it. Basically, it's a new old stock watch, no wear on it, the original foil sticker on the back of it, and the fact that we have all this complete documentation here also. Maybe one of the very few in the whole world that still was never worn. Your watch at auction today, $500,000 to $700,000.
You got-
No, I'm very serious.
Oh,
It's an absolute fabulous find.
So the man bought a watch, never wore it, didn't even put it on, not one time. kept everything in the box, spent $300 at the time when you bought it, saved it for almost 40 years, and now its watch is could be worth minimum $500,000.
Wow. I'm gonna start going through my parents' things. Listen.
I heard this story and I was like, it's like the best feel good story I ever had. And he was explaining a story. He was in the Air Force. He worked demolition. He actually worked defusing like mines, landmines and whatnot. So, and then he was a scuba diver, and he got inspired to wear Rolex because he saw like airline pilots and whatnot wear Rolexes. And he bought one. He's like, he was. Can you imagine he was using this watch to scuba dive?
But he never wore it.
He never wore it. He saw him, was like, this is too nice. Like, this looks real too prestige to me to jump in salty, murky waters. And it would have lasted.
Wow.
And now his worth is worth $500,000 to $700,000.
That's amazing.
It probably gave me exceed that amount of money because it's so. Because basically, like the guy said, it's like going. Think about going to, I don't know, Target.
Right.
And Target has the original Nintendo. They kept in the stock in the back corner, and you find it, and it's still in the same Nintendo box, never unblocked. It's a steal.
I know. I'm so mad. I had mine, and someone gave it away.
Oh, my parents gave mine away to my Nintendo. I think they threw mine out.
I'm so pissed off.
Do you know what Nintendos cost nowadays? You want to get like a pristine Nintendo kit? I told my Dre has one. He still plays. I said, yo, Pop, them to bag that, yo. But yeah, so the dude had a watch, never wore it, and saved it, and it's worth a fortune.
Shout out to him for for having a watch that costs so much. Can I get some? Oh man, so you're gonna go to a quick mix?
Yeah, man, I'm gonna do my thing.
All right, so let's go to a mix here on the Nightcap, and we are back.
Yeah,
You already know who it is. It's your girl, Miss Lottie Dottie, and we back in this building.
What's up, man?
You know, it was my birthday this week.
I know.
And
you wouldn't leave nobody else about it. Let me tell you something how she is.
I love my birthday, man.
Lottie Dottie, she hit me up, was like, intense. Like, what? Today's my birthday. I'm like, I know, so what? I'll hit you up when I'm ready to hit you up.
No,
I gotta be the first. I gotta be the first. Why you waiting until the last person? I said, why can't I be the last person to hit you up to a happy birthday?
No, Intense was calling me all day and did not wish me a happy birthday.
I did.
There is no way you're gonna hit up my line and speak to me throughout the day on my birthday and not say happy birthday.
I did.
Can't do that.
I went last.
Work like that.
I contacted you back like 7:55. I mean 11:55.
It doesn't work like that. You're gonna call, you're gonna greet, and you're gonna say happy birthday.
Listen,
my birthday is special. I think everybody should enjoy themselves, love themselves. We only got one life to live, so if you're not living it, then when you're gone, what are you gonna say for it? You know? So, for me, I'm always gonna love my birthday. And I feel like it shouldn't just be your birthday. It should just be every day. Celebrate it like no other.
well, it's funny that you say about birthdays and YOLO and you only live once. So I'm gonna give you a scenario. You know, oh, I'm sorry, I jumped the gun. It's what time is it now?
It's the time for the hot topic.
Okay, so hot topic time. Okay, so I'm gonna give you a juicy scenario, and we're not gonna sit on. We're just gonna get right into it. So I'm gonna give you a scenario in my head of something that I heard or I saw happen.
Okay.
And I want to see what you do going forward.
All right.
So you and your spouse have a very loving, fulfilling relationship. Everything's going great.
I'm single, y'all.
I'm just saying scenario. I said a scenario.
I know.
I said scenario. I didn't say about single status. I didn't say about marriage status. I didn't say about on the rocks. I said scenario. Okay. So you guys have a couple who are friends of yours, whatever, yada. And they are just as stable as you and doing just as well as you are too. And everybody's happy, right?
Right.
So one day during, I'd say the male's birthday, they invite you out to a party, right?
Okay.
And at the end of the night, there comes a big surprise. And the surprise is that the girlfriend, the female, brought in another female, and they're gonna have a threesome with her husband, and a female. And your significant other looks at you and says, "I want that too." Are you ending the relationship, or are you staying in it? Are you fulfilling his fantasy? Because you just said YOLO, you only live once. Just now, you just said it. So I'm just asking you: do you feel comfortable matching the same energy as your friends' couple situation going on?
First of all, anybody that I'm with or I get with, one of my things is live your life prior to settling down with me per se. So if you haven't had a threesome, or if you want a threesome, or if a threesome is something that you're used to, then my thing would be get it out your system before you get with me. And if it's something that you continuously want, unfortunately, I will not be able to deliver, because I'm not getting down like that, because that's going to open a whole bunch of can of worms that we do not need. We don't want them problems. Okay? So
this is the
am I
one
gonna break up with my man for asking? First of all, I would look at him like, you should know me by now. Clearly. You know? You should know who I am, my
But
character.
even if he does know who you are, and he still wants it anyway.
He should have known from the giddy up I was gonna say no.
I know that, but time has passed.
I'm gonna look at him and be like, yo, I ain't gonna break up with you, but you ain't getting that. And if you do happen to seek that behind my back, then we won't be together.
YOLO.
That's his business, not mine.
So if you don't find,
I'm gonna be YOLO. I'm gonna live without him YOLO.
Okay, so if you never find out, you're okay. As long as you don't find out, that's what it all boils down to.
Hey, if I don't find out, I don't know.
Right.
Then it doesn't hurt nobody.
Okay.
But if I suspect, that's the difference. Because you gotta understand, like, seriously, when you allow other people to come into your relationship, chances are what's gonna end up happening is somebody's gonna sleep with somebody behind somebody's back, because the sex is gonna be that good, and chances are it's going to be the female. The two females are going to continuously sleep with one another to the point they're going to X that man out. So if that's what a man wants, then the man's going to end up sitting on the sideline watching the two females get it on every single day. And they're going to say, no, we don't want you.
I didn't say it was a relationship. It just happened in the spur of a moment.
It's going to continuously happen.
That was the person's gift.
Well, kudos to them. Kudos to them that they gets down like that.
No. I'm not saying they gets down. It was just that something that a desire, it got fulfilled. Spirit of once in a lifetime. That's about it.
I mean, kudos to them.
Okay.
And you?
I'm all down for it.
Of course. But is wifey gonna be all down for it?
Remember, she bought it. If she and I look at each other, and I'm good either way, but the thought of it to actually really go, because all guys want that eventually. If it happens, hey.
Most men that I've encountered already surpassed that. They already been there, done that.
Hey.
So to them, it's like
maybe you want to repeat a little spread a moment lifetime. Once a lifetime moment, go ahead.
Listen. I'm gonna give you that double dose without a female. How about that?
It's not the same. Sorry.
It's more work for the man.
Listen, let me more work for me. I still got more rounds in me, baby.
I've heard certain situations where I've heard of situations where people have threesomes and the other female wasn't down for it, but the guy just wanted, like, he wouldn't have sex with the other girl, but he would have sex with his wife.
So she was just occupying space, I guess, at the time.
The plus one would satisfy the wife,
but wouldn't satisfy the guy.
I've heard situations just the wife, because that's what the wife wanted. But the man cannot have intercourse or any sort of penetration with the plus one.
Okay, whatever. As long as I'm there for it, baby, I don't care. Listen, as long as I'm in the room, and if we all getting hot and bothered, and there's a 2-1 special on my shorty at the time, hey, look.
Yeah, but then you know what ends up happening to a woman?
What?
She wants more.
Hey, man, look.
Because now you just open the doors and you expose it to something that feels good.
Okay.
And once it feels good, a female's going to continue.
Don't talk to me like that.
And continue.
No, really, don't talk to me like that.
And continue.
Look at me. Don't talk like that, okay? Because in my mind, I'm running the situation in my mind. I'm like, oh, and it's going like this. Damn it, I said too much.
Yo, no, seriously, like women, we like to explore sometimes.
Yeah, I know.
And you gotta understand, like, some of us don't want to open those cans because we know who we are and what we're capable of doing. So if Shorty does it, just best to believe she's gonna continue doing it.
As long as you keep the invite for me.
No, trust me, they're gonna exclude you from the equation. You will not be in the equation whatsoever. So shout out to everybody who's knocking the boots with the 3-some, 4-some, 5-some, whatever it is.
The
whatever
orgies.
The orgies, the polygamy.
Polygamy.
Yeah, those relationships are, up and moving. So
Let me tell you something about those relationships. It's hard to please one person. That's why, like, for me, I never wanted to indulge in having like multiple girlfriends. It's hard.
No,
to please
because
two.
you gotta understand they all please one another in that.
No. I'm not talking about I'm not saying in that threesome action. It's like, let's say you have 2 separate girlfriends. Mm-hmm. It's hard to please both because both want to occupy your time. The older you get, like if you're older and doing it, it's harder. When it's younger, you got energy for the world. But when you get older, it's like, I want to relax. I don't want to be over there. I want to relax. Like, know your role. Shout out to all my side girls out there.
Ew.
I love the side ones.
Oh,
the ones,
side chicks?
Yeah, you just said it.
Oh,
Good
I thought
job.
you said quiet ones.
And you agree with me.
No,
Appreciate you.
No,
Good job, Lottie Daddy.
No. We are
Yes,
not rocking
yes.
with the side chicks. Because the side chicks give no love.
Yes.
No side chicks. I thought you said shy chicks.
Well, the shy chicks too. The shy, quiet ones. They're fun too.
Yeah, that's why I said,
No, you said this. You said the side ones.
No,
I appreciate that.
sides,
I
definitely
appreciate you bigging up the side woman. I know that's not your lane, but I'm happy that
I'm not supporting no side chick. Period.
Big them up. You just did, so it's okay.
Gotta be shout out to the main chicks.
The main chicks.
G-Wagon.
Yeah, man. But it's just the reason. I'm gonna tell you the reason off air why I brought that story up, because I thought it was funny.
No, I mean, from what I hear, a lot of people have conversations about threesomes and trying to get a female to do a threesome. I had an ex-boyfriend that always talked about it for some odd reason. And I asked him, like, why are you always bringing this up? I told you through the dating phase, that's not my thing. I don't get down with it. He was like, well, I can make you get down with it. Men can make any female do anything.
He's right.
I mean, he never did it, but
If he had more time, he would have got it.
no, we was together for a hot minute, and no.
If he had more time, I'm telling you. I'm gonna say hot minute. Don't be like a couple of months. I'm talking about you need like
years.
5+ years.
Oh, well, nah, we didn't get
Once
it.
you pass those 5-6 years, then anything's possible.
Nah, we didn't get
Because
that.
you gotta keep at it. Gotta keep at it. It's like a
Just
jingle.
do it. Just do it before. If you want a threesome, get it out the way before you find your queen. Because chances are your queen might say no, because she's gonna take it as
Insult.
as disrespect. Like, oh, you want me to sleep with another female? Oh, are you thinking about that female? Yes, there are people who think out the box. Yes, I get it. There are people who like to explore. I get it. And that's their prerogative. If that's what they feel and that's how they want to deal with it, okay. Then I'm okay with it. But most men should get it out their system before they settle down. That's it.
All right.
Unless Shorty is, the person you settle down with, she's into that.
We'll see.
G-Wagon.
I'm not part of. I don't bring it upon them. If they want to do it, go ahead.
Yeah, I guess. So be it.
So be it. Anyways,
Uh-huh.
there's another episode of Nightcap.
Yeah.
Shout out to Spotlight Smooth and Golden
Miss
Goddess.
Golden Goddess.
Golden Goddess on a retreat.
Poconos.
She's in retreat. We're not saying where she's at. She's on retreat. She's on her girlfriend's retreat. And Spotlight Smooth on a medical retreat.
Listen, I'm about to go on a retreat soon.
When you leaving?
I don't know.
You supposed to have been left already by
I
now.
have so many vacation packages right now just sitting. I'm just trying to figure out how to maximize and how to just bang it out. Because that means I'm going to be gone for a hot minute.
Bye.
I'm probably going to take 2 months off. Hey.
Bye. I know, like I said, Spotlight Smooth. Prince P's working. Spotlight Smooth. He's better. He'll be back next week.
Nice.
He'll explain to what happened to him. That's about it.
All right.
Prince B doing Prince B things. Down on the vibe.
Okay.
That's
so,
it.
you already know who this is. It's your girl, Miss Lottie Dottie, and you can find me on MS_Lottie Dottie on Instagram. And I'm going to see y'all next week.
And this is DJ Intense at DJINTENCE. Miss Golden Goddess is not here to do my introduction, so I'm going to wait till she comes back, and she will tell you what I'm all about.
And you can find us on all social media platforms.
And
iHeart.
podcast platforms, too.
Yes. iHeart, Google Play,
At The Nightcap with 2 P's.
Podbean.
All social media platforms and all major podcast platforms.
That's right.
At The Nightcap with 2 P's. And yeah, just search us up, man. It'll pop up. Okay, y'all? It's another episode, and we out.
See y'all next week here on the Nightcap.